Nike is refreshing their slogan after 37 years and several billion dollars of advertising. Nike is expanding the message from just do it to why do it. So they're moving from that pragmatic Gen X, of just do it to the kind of Gen Z friendly or Gen Z existentialism of why. So I think this is super interesting. It's funny. I was reading a couple of news articles about this, and the news articles were saying Nike is replacing their classic slogan. I don't think they're replacing it.
Mhm.
Looking at even just Nike's own press release, in their own words, is Nike is reintroducing Just Do It to a new generation with the launch of its latest campaign, Why Do It? It's designed to connect with young athletes where they are. The campaign reframes greatness as a choice, not an outcome. I think it's super
Hmm.
interesting. I think it's pretty brilliant. Nothing about this suggests to me that they're abandoning Just Do It. I think it's natural to have an evolution of things and to kind of seasonally revisit and refresh messaging. I think it's smart. I think it's great. It resonates with me.
Mhm.
I just that idea of just questioning whether you really want something, how much you want it. I
Yeah,
like it.
I think one of the things when I first saw it, I was putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong word. It was kind of like, why do it instead of why do it, you know? Or it's like, instead of asking why somebody would do something, it's like, why you would do something, right? It's like giving you the reasons, like why somebody would spend countless hours training and, putting their life and like their heart and their soul into a sport that, obviously doesn't work out for everybody, right? But the harder that you work and, the more that you do it, the better you're going to be at it. So now that you kind of explained that, and that I've kind of thought about like the concept itself more. I'm like, yeah, that actually does make, more sense. I mean, we as a culture have kind of, evolved to um um thinking about things as being like a more personal choice of like what you have to do to achieve, great things, that it's not just something that lands in your lap, that you're just good because you were born that way. It's like, yeah, that is, some people are going to have I'm thinking here of like Michael Phelps with like his long wingspan or whatever, right? But he still had to put in the work to actually become an Olympic great, right? So it's like you're making that choice every day about like the things that you're going to do in order to achieve greatness. So I like that it's kind of taking those elements of where culture has kind of, moved to in order to address the younger generation. But I do like also that they haven't completely gotten rid of the just do it.
Yeah, I love that it speaks to Gen Z, like, we're known as the anxious generation, and so, like, there's this fear of failure and, like, this perfectionism, which I totally get as a perfectionist of, like, why try if I could potentially risk failure, embarrassment, whatever, and so I feel like it's cool. To me, it's almost really a campaign, like you said, Amanda, it's not like a whole rebrand. I think people we've seen are very, adverse to big changes like that, like, when it's, like, logos or something behind the company that's been there for several years, but it, like, really sees Gen Z of, like, well, you should do this, like, thing because there's a greater purpose behind it, and I think that really speaks to people's, like, souls and, like, what's our purpose in life, and, sports can be bigger than just the competition of that one game, or that one event. So I think it's cool, it's unique. I like that they play into the mental health crisis in a way, so I think that's really unique.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. I mean, it's mental health is health, right? So I like that this is a way of them addressing that or nodding to that without explicitly saying so, really. I think it's great. And then the other thing is, so I think with Nike, it's been interesting to see what they've been doing lately, just in general, because a couple of months ago they launched a Substack. It's called In the Margins. I looked at it recently to see like how it's been doing. It's on Substack, so you can see the baseline subscriber count. It says over 1,000 subscribers, and it's been
Hmm,
that way for a little while. So I am curious.
interesting.
Um,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I
I'm
remember
curious
talking
about it.
about this,
Mhm.
when it first came out. I'm surprised it's still at 1,000 because that seems very low for a major brand like that.
Yeah, we happened to talk about it the first time, I think just a day or two after it launched, and it said something like over 1,000 subscribers. So we're like, well, of course they do. It's Nike. But now a couple months later, it still
Oh,
says that. So it could be that it's somehow not updated. It might be possible that they overrode Substack's autofill thing, and maybe that's what they wrote in over 1,000 subscribers. I don't know.
Oh, I
I mean, I
see.
kind of doubt that now that I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
it out
yeah, yeah.
loud.
Hmm.
But anyway, I think it's interesting to see them do some truly new things. And I think sports journalism lends itself very well to long form content. So I don't know. I hope it does well.
One other thing though is like, are they actively out there promoting it as like a thing? Because I feel like I saw the announcement, when it first came out, but I don't think I've seen anything from the account or otherwise in a while. And like, who are the writers? Like, what are they writing? Are they actively promoting it and trying to use it as a marketing channel for themselves? Or if they're not, then why not?
Yeah.
One other thing I want to call out about Nike, I saw that one of the campaigns that they did recently was with when Maria Sharapova was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. They created a dress for her based off of one of her previous tennis outfits. So I think it's like really funny that you're having these companies, much like Figs, creating like luxury level or like awards level, outfits for their ambassadors in order to kind of elevate both, their outfits, but then the brand itself and kind of putting it in a new context for people to kind of see. And then I think it's also kind of testing the waters to see if like, people would be up for luxury wear from Nike, because that's one level that they haven't quite reached, right? It's mostly just known for sports outfits and, because that's what they've been doing. But, if Nike were to create a higher, level of like luxury branded clothing that was like made well and from luxurious materials and stuff, would people be buying their stuff knowing that it's probably going to be comfortable, because Nike made it.
I wonder. I mean, their stuff is already pretty expensive. And it's. So I'd be curious. I feel like if they did, they'd have to really show it, like show that quality.
Hmm.
I don't know. I could just be hating, or I
It's okay,
feel
right?
like, well, I feel like people know that their stuff is cheap and it's just made in factories in China and there's like nothing actually special about it. That it's just the branding.
Right, right, right. But that's why I
Yeah.
thought it was interesting that they,
Yeah.
did this like one-off, luxury dress for Maria Sharapova for that, award show. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's interesting. Maybe people were like, "Can you buy this?" And Nike was like, "No, because this one actually is really good quality. We're not making it again."
Right. I do wonder, yeah, I'm sure, because it's a little black dress basically. And it looks really nice. But yeah, it does, yeah. Now that that is a thing, right? They'll have to kind of try to remove is like the idea that all their products are made in sweatshops in Asia somewhere.
Right.
But to
I
be
was gonna
fair,
say they need to do a huge PR lift if that's gonna be
yeah.
the case.
Sorry,
That's
Caitlin. I
true.
think Caitlin is like quietly horrified by what
No,
we're
no,
saying.
no. I was literally gonna say, Amanda, I'm with you. Like, I used to be like Nike everything all day, like, and starting to see, especially my husband's been putting me on like to like higher quality brands, like, and I think people are starting to see the value in like your Lululemons or your Aloe and stuff, where they're like, I don't know whether they're also made in sweatshops. Hopefully not. We're all for ethical labor, but you can tell the quality difference, especially
Mhm.
like running shoes. Like I feel like running is having a big moment right now, and like people are starting to see like, oh, Hoka, Brooks, those are better
Mhm.
brands. Asics are better brands, and like Nike's actually pretty trash for your feet. And so
Mhm.
I'm like
Yeah.
throwing my Jordans out my closet, like I'm not wearing these anymore.
No, I mean it's true. Like it's funny. I just bought a pair of running shoes. Like I went to a running store and was like, "Let's do this
Mm.
right."
Yeah.
Like you will like they analyze like my gait and like
Mhm.
my pronation and stuff. And I didn't get custom shoes, but they recommended Asics. And
Mm.
I don't even recall seeing Nike shoes there. Like
Interesting.
the ones I saw most prominently were Hoka, Asics, I think a New Balance shoe, and something else I didn't read. I think a couple other
Did they have
brands I just don't know.
Skechers?
I didn't see Skechers, no.
It might be because that's like a complete no. I bring that up
Yeah.
because Amanda brought that up as one of our early examples of brands she loved because they're making like comfortable shoes for healthcare workers. Bringing it back.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. That is a thing that we've seen recently, especially with, younger generations, where it's like they're optimizing more for utility and comfort than previous generations, where it was like, beauty is pain, and like, you're gonna fuck up your feet wearing heels, but you're gonna look good, and then like, the younger generation is like, no, like we're just gonna wear Birkenstocks and Hokas because they're comfortable, and so that we can walk around, which, I'm at that stage now too. I just purely optimize for comfort now. And that's why, wearing those flats messed up my foot that day, back in the day. So if I'd been wearing Hokas, that probably wouldn't have happened.
If you've been wearing Hokas, you've been running so fast
Right?
that grate or whatever you fell in, like, wouldn't have
There's literally,
seen you
literally a
coming.
crack in the street. I miss New York, right? It's going to have
Yeah,
potholes.
it happens. Yeah.
Awesome.